and welcome to Season 2, Episode 49 of Pro Wrestling's Top 50. I'm your host, Travis McNeil, and today we continue our countdown of the top 50 matches in Impact Wrestling history with match number 2 on our list, which is the TNA World Heavyweight Championship match between the champion Bobby Roode and the challenger Austin Aries from the TNA Destination X 2012 event held on July the 8th, 2012. This match is, in my opinion, the best World Heavyweight title match that Impact Wrestling or TNA has ever produced. It is absolutely fantastic. This is maybe going to be a bit of a weird comparison, but it almost in a way reminds me a little bit of a Ric Flair versus Lex Luger match from 88, 89, 1990 NWA WCW, but with the roles reversed where, Bobby Roode is that competent, kind of stronger guy, and Aries is the smaller individual that basically wrestles circles around him and puts in a pretty tremendous one-man show to make an absolutely captivating match. And that's not a slight to Bobby Roode. I think he's good. And it's not a slight to Lex Luger as well. I love Lex Luger, but in those Luger and Flair matches, it really was the Ric Flair show. And this match here really is the Austin Aries show. This match had a really neat story coming into it. So I talked in the Austin Aries versus Bully Ray video, many episodes back in this season, that, Austin Aries was kind of, being primed to move up to the heavyweight division. He was the X Division champion at the time. So we roll around to Destination X, and basically Hulk Hogan gives Austin Aries an ultimatum. He gives him option A, which is to remain the X Division champion and defend the title at Destination X. Option B, which is to vacate the X Division title to, compete against Bobby Roode for the World Heavyweight title, in which a new X Division champion would be crowned. Or what Austin Aries done is he creates option C, which is basically option B, but with the added caveat that every year at Destination X, the X Division champion would be given the opportunity to make that choice and challenge for the World Heavyweight title should they wish. And this is something that we've seen, every Destination X since this is, one in 2012 where we got this for the first time. So cool little story. Austin Aries had been, gradually moving up the card, starting to fight heavyweights to go into this World Heavyweight title. And Aries is a kind of cool story because, Ring of Honor struck while the iron was hot with him in 2004 when he beat Samoa Joe to become the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion. From there, when he eventually lost the title, he moved over into TNA. Didn't really do too much there. Ended up coming back to Ring of Honor in 2007. Basically had his career revitalized, which allowed him to become the Ring of Honor champion once again in 2009. Reinvented his character, was a lot more of a kind of a sleazy dirtbag heel than what he was before. Had another very successful title reign before eventually losing the title to Tyler Black. When that happened, again, we had two different runs on top of Ring of Honor, 4 or 5 years apart from each other. He ended up going back to TNA, and this time, found the success that he didn't the first time. So this was a matter of, going into Destination X. I think everybody was really excited because we had, the Hogan Bischoff, years kind of starting to wean out a little bit at that point. The X Division, had really been placed on the back burner. I think a lot of us felt, during that era. So we were getting Destination X. It was focusing around the X Division. It had this fantastic looking card coming into it. And I think a lot of us, were really wondering, will TNA, strike while that iron is hot? Will they put the title on Austin Aries? I didn't think that they were, but I still made it a point to watch this pay-per-view live just to see. I was a big Austin Aries fan at the time. We'll talk a little bit more about him as we get to the end of this video. But it was a really exciting match. The match itself is really well done, and it doesn't break the mold. It's a traditional kind of, like I said, bigger guy, smaller guy, world heavyweight title match, but it's done so well. And it's got such a fantastic crowd that it truly results in one of the best matches that Impact has ever produced, in my opinion. So we get, very early on, Bobby Roode, hitting the shoulder blocks and doing the power moves. And that leads to Austin Aries, I used this term once already, but wrestling circles around him, taking him to the mat, spinning around on his back, paint brushing him, doing, the Shawn Michaels hammock up in the corner, and basically showing, like, you're going to underestimate me, I'm going to make you pay for it. And that's exactly what he does. That causes, Roode to really, start to grind him down and slow the pace and cut off the offense whenever Aries would get going. And it leads to a pivotal mistake where, Aries, again, he's full of, piss and vinegar, and he's very explosive, and he goes for his signature heat-seeking missile, low pay through the bottom and middle rope. He comes in that with such speed. Roode manages to move, and Aries crashes headfirst into the barricade. Brutal spot. Aries has done that move before. And from there, Roode really starts to capitalize. Like I said, every time Aries, starts to get something going, he's cut off. Roode is great here with his trash talking, telling Aries, you're not in my league and you don't deserve to be, wrestling for the heavyweight title and you're only an X division wrestler and so on and so forth, right? I talked about Bully Ray, doing a lot of this in his match with Aries. Roode does it, here as well. And that's the easy story for them to take, right? And it engages the viewer and it engages the live crowd as well. Like I said, they were very hot for this match. Aries manages to kind of get some juice going. He starts to outstrike Roode. He goes for the big, IED drop kick in the corner. Roode counters that into a power slam. So again, just cutting him off with the power every chance that he gets. We get some really nice counter sequences in this match. I talked about the power slam out of the drop kick. Bobby Roode, one of his signatures had been the spear, so Aries counters that into his last chance resubmission. But then, Roode ends up countering out of that into a crossface. All of that looked really good. Aries, he goes up top for the 450. Again, makes another pivotal mistake. He misses that and he rolls through. He kind of catches himself, but eats the big double R spine buster. From there, Roode throws Aries shoulder first into the ring post, locks the crossface back in, which was one of his signatures. Aries has a long struggle before getting the ropes, and at this point, it kind of seems like the match is going to slip a little bit out of Aries' fingers. Roode kind of starts to trash talk with the referee a little bit at that point. He goes outside, gets the TNA Heavyweight Championship, brings that in, and just uses it to bait the referee. So while the referee's removing the belt, he hits a low blow on Aries and only gets a 2. At the time that this match happened, I assumed that was going to be the finish. As soon as we started to get into the Gaga, I thought, okay, typical TNA, they had Aries look good, but, Roode's going to retain, and we're going to keep doing his run on top. But the finish that we build into is so good because it plays off of that so well. So as Roode is arguing with the referee in the corner, Aries blasts him with the impact explosion dropkick, goes for the brainbuster, which was his signature finisher at the time. Roode counters back out of it, bumps the referee, gets the shot with the TNA World Heavyweight title. Referee slowly comes back together. We get the 1, we get the 2, and we get the kick out. So again, watching this match live, I remember it, as good today as I did at the time in 2012. I again thought that was going to be the finish, but Aries survived and kept going. And the actual finish itself is so clean, it's so brilliant, it's so good. There's not a lot of build to it, which kind of made it even better. Robert Roode, he goes for the Fisherman's Suplex, which is one of his signatures. Aries counters it into a small package, gets a really hot 2 count off of that. Gets the kick to the head, drops him with the brainbuster. 1, 2, 3. That is all she wrote. Austin Aries pins Bobby Roode clean as a sheet at Destination X 2012 to become the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. The crowd loses their minds. I was losing my mind watching this live. The internet lost their minds about this match. There was confetti falling. They made a really big, nice, good deal out of it. I loved the confetti because it was the callback to, AJ Styles winning the X Division title on episode 2 of NWA TNA. So again, it was that X Division guy, but, he's finally reached the top of the mountain. And, yes, AJ Styles had done that. Yes, Samoa Joe had done that. but neither one of them really truly felt like the X Division wrestler that Austin Aries was when he won this match. It is so good. It is a perfect example of TNA striking while the iron is hot, which is something they've struggled with throughout their history. It's an excellent face versus heel, big versus little match with a hot crowd, great drama, using the typical heel tropes well and throwing you off the scent of the finish, leading into an ultimately satisfying finish. And I remember at the time, I was so happy. We were all so happy for Austin Aries. I mentioned I'd get back to it, in recent years. He has shown, through his behavior in many matches, as well as, his social media posts and, his beliefs that certainly don't fall in line with mine in any way, shape, or form. He's become someone that, I really can't stand. Does it sully this moment a little bit? Watching it back now, maybe. But again, I try to, transport myself back to 2012 when I watch this match now of how happy it made me at the time, regardless of, what I think of Austin Aries, now in 2021. This match, though, absolutely excellent. You can watch it on Impact Plus, of course. You can subscribe to my channel here on YouTube so that you never miss a video. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Wrestling50. And please join me again tomorrow as we continue to count down Pro Wrestling's Top 50. Top 50.